I'm going to have you give you the opportunity to be famous and not so famous people in history. And if you don't know much about the person, this is table topics, so you can wing it. This is not a history test, okay? So if you don't know, what they do in table topics is wing it. So I'm going to start off with this first person.
Wait a minute, Alan.
I'm going to have you give you the opportunity.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, you're
Okay, so the first person in history we're going to get a chance to meet is Cleopatra, the Queen of Egypt. So I'd like to know what it was like to be Queen of Egypt, especially someone who knew Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. And I think of someone, the best person to maybe tell us what it was like would be Joy, aka Cleopatra. Please tell us, Cleopatra, what it was like.
Thank you, Mr. Topic Master. I appreciate the chance to talk about my history. On the other hand, there are parts of my history I really don't want to discuss. I think everyone here are adults, but just the same, some things are better left unsaid. However, I was privileged to know a number of great men, including Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. Mark Antony was much hotter. Julius Caesar was a bit of a tyrant, but Mark Antony was really something. It was quite an interesting life, as you know. It's rather quite a bit of desert country where I live, and things are very different from the way people live now. But I really had a great time most of the time. Of course, towards the end, things got a little sticky, and I decided to take the easy way out. I thought it would be more dramatic rather than doing something messy like stabbing myself, I decided to use a snake to escape. So that's what I did. Back to you, Mr. Topic Master.
I am very curious about something. Everybody's familiar with the story of Noah, who built the ark. Well, Noah didn't necessarily pick the animals that got on the boat. It was actually Mrs. Noah who sort of talked to Noah about which animals made the trip and which not. So Mrs. Noah, aka Linda, please tell me how you made the decision on which animals made the boat and which did not.
fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. How did I make the decision of which animals made it and which did not? That's easy. You see, God spoke to me and told me which animals to bring on the ark. He told me exactly. He said, two of each animal. So that's what I did. I brought in two of each animal. And at that time, the animals that everybody knows what animals were alive back then. Dinosaurs weren't around yet. If dinosaurs were around, then dinosaurs would still be around today. So because and dogs weren't really around then either, or cats, or they probably would have been on the ark. So of course I brought in like birds and just two of all the animals, elephants, giraffes, and that way they could mate and multiply and have other animals. So that is how I decided what animal. I did not decide on my own what animals to bring on the ark. God told me, and I answered. Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. And I timed myself. Thank you, Tan.
So we're going to move a little more forward in history. And we've all heard the story of Isaac Newton. Supposedly an apple fell on his head that got him curious about this thing called gravity. Was it really an apple, Sir Isaac, or was it something else? Tan.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I think I love apples, especially apples can be great on a lot of items. Not only does it keep the doctor away, because I'm so tenacious and I don't like doctors, but you can use it to barbecue. Have you ever seen like one of those whole hogs? And then sometimes you just see something coming out of its mouth. It's because that pig did not eat enough apples in its life. And he didn't. So he had to see the doctor, and eventually he ended up in our smoker. So that's where the apple came from. But I really think that great things come from trees, and the apple came down because it is a great gift. It should not be something that's poisonous or anything. Sometimes we hear about like how apples can be bad and how there's bad seeds and there's worms in them. But I think apples are great. Not only does it keep the doctor away, it starts with A, which is the very beginning of the alphabet. Teachers love them. Back when you brought apples to school, they also make great computers and iPhones, like, the Apple. I don't see anything wrong with the Apple product and the apple fruit. If we could, I would have so many green apples just falling off the tree, making apple pie and smoking pigs left and right. So that's why I think apples are great to fall from trees. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
It's June 20th, 1837. In your name, you are Alexandria Victoria. Your uncle has just passed away, and you are now Queen of all England and the British realm. Please tell us what it is like to become an 18 Queen of the British Empire. Kathy.
Oh my God. Thank you for asking me. I have no idea how to do a British accent. Never mind. Okay. I'm Queen Victoria, and I've seen pictures of her. I don't look anything like her, but this was her experience. From her birth, from my birth, I was just entitled and gifted, and I got everything I wanted. I wanted more food, I wanted more candy, I wanted more friends, I wanted more sheets, whatever I wanted, I got. And so it seemed reasonable that I'm the queen, because I've always wanted, I love my daddy. And he taught me a lot about ruling and how to be a really, really, really good ruler. And I have all the confidence in the world that I can rule this country right into the 19th, 20th century. And it will be great. In when did I assume the throne?
37.
1837. How many people were around from then? Nobody. I'm still here because I'm so great. And I just wore that crown like as if it was my own private property. The country did very, very well. And it's because I had all the confidence in it in the world, and the people had confidence in me. I was a great ruler. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
It's October 22nd, 1924. The first Toastmaster meeting in Santa Ana, California, run by Dr. Ralph Medley. Please tell us what it's like to be at that meeting with this gentleman who's trying to start this organization called Toastmasters. David.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. I'm going to use the process of deflection on this because I love the word tenacious and tenacity. And some of you may be aware, but there is a trio of significant events that occurred on April 18, 19, and 20. They were similar but dissimilar, and they're both separated by time and distance. These events had Americans asking these two questions in each of the events. One, how could this have happened? Two, what are we going to do about this? First event, April 18, 1942, was a dual raid on Japan to avenge the Pearl Harbor attack. Second event, April 19th, 1995, Oklahoma City, federal building bombing. And the last event, April 20th, was the Columbine High School shooting. So again, these three events had us asking, how did this happen? What are we going to do about it? And the people who were involved in that, I can only imagine, but they had to be tenacious to not only survive, but to thrive after these events. And just, I think a way to honor these people is for us to live our lives fully and to help other people. And that's all I have to say, Mr. Toastmaster.
I'm going to do one more. I know I'm pushing the time limit here, Toastmaster. It is June 24th, 1969, and Neil Armstrong becomes the first man to step on the moon. But I would like to know what it was like to be the second man, Buzz Aldrin, to step on the moon. Buzz, please tell us what it's like to be the second person to step on the moon. Nico.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. I actually was born in May 1969. Well, as a second best, they call it, it's not so bad. Even Neil Armstrong had his be the person who stepped on the moon, the first person. Well, I'm the second. In this case, being a second is glorious, or was because I'm speaking from the past. But let's think of this. If you buy a lottery and you didn't win, you almost win, that's different from being a second. Being a second to Neil Armstrong is like saying, I am the vice president, or I am the husband of a president. So what I'm saying here is being Buzz Lightyear is a good thing. Second place or no second place. Because it came from a humble beginning. I didn't grow up as a rich man. I really worked hard to be an astronaut that has this tenacity in me to work hard and be the best of the best. Unfortunately, someone is better than me. But actually, he had some good connection inside. That's why Neil Armstrong got to be the first person up there. Other than that, it would have been me, because I work harder than him and more tenacious in everything that I do. Back to you, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Do I have time for Dickenji? Tan?
No, I'd like to. I'm sorry. Nikenji has an evaluation role, so she'll get to speak too.
Okay. So can I have a timer's report?
Yes, let me go to my histories. I'm looking for the first person was Joy. So Joy was 134. I was 121. Tan was 114. Kathy 140. David 136. And Nico 154. And I will put up the polling. Please, everybody, vote for your favorite table topic, participant.
I appreciate everybody being tenacious and getting into the roles. So I will turn the meeting back over to now our general evaluator, Tan Fan.
I'll let you know when a minute elapses.
All right. Thank you
before
so
you start
much.
introducing this
Yes, and,
evaluator.
Okay, and I hope everybody votes so that we can move on with the program. And the final portion of the meeting is going to be led by myself as a general evaluator.
Wait a minute. Sorry, it takes a while. Everybody's still voting. Alan, did you vote? Let me check the chat. Okay. That doesn't help. Okay.
Are we ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Linda. Our first evaluator knows how to evaluate because she is a champion speaker.